This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legend. Join us as we take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Hello, and welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast, where we talk about Star Wars Canon versus Legends. I'm one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I am your other host, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria.
And today, we are talking about a creature.
We are.
Probably, when you think of a Star Wars monster, it's probably this one, and maybe like the Nexu Acklay from Attack of the Clones.
Oh, yeah.
And the rhino thing, I forget, the Reek, that's what it's called.
Or
Probably
the
think
Wampa.
but this is, the Wampa. But this is probably the most iconic Star Wars monster.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the Rancor, which I have to say that the only thing that I ever struggled with in Star Wars Outlaws was the Rancor mission. I don't know if you've done that yet, Ben.
I have not, and knowing that there is one now, I am terrified because I'm not a Force wielder.
It's just well, it took me a while because one of the things about it is it took me a long time to really get into remember that like Nyx can get places that I can't.
Oh, gotcha.
And that was a big thing about it. Like I couldn't figure out how I was supposed to do this one part. But
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, we are talking about Rancor, which, everybody's favorite monster from Star Wars. And since it is October and spooky month, I thought we could start doing creature deep dives since we haven't done those yet on the show. So we are doing a Legends and a Canon on this episode. So first off is always Legends material. So Rancors were carnivorous reptomammals native to the planet of Dathomir. They were usually brown, but in special circumstances, such as a mutant Rancor, jungle Rancor, and a bull Rancor, their colors may have differed. Although found in many worlds, such as Leon, where they were brought by crash starships, the Otathon, Cardia, Korlag, and Felucia, those or Dathomir were said to be stronger and more intelligent than others. They have been used for many things, ranging from mounts for the witches of Dathomir, to pets for crime lords such as Jabba, to being a source of food, and as means of entertainment by dropping someone into its pit.
okay, so I had to look up what a reptomammal was.
Yeah.
And it's obviously unique to Star Wars.
Oh, absolutely.
It is a reptile who gives birth like a mammal instead of like laying fertilized eggs. So they're not a Rancor eggs. Rancors give birth to Rancor babies.
Yeah. Yes, and we do see Rancor babies, at least in the Bad Batch.
Bad Batch. Mm-hmm.
So
I believe that it is the Rancor, like the one Luke fights, is that baby Rancor that we see.
Oh, that's even worse to know. Oh
Because
no,
I think
I feel
they sell
bad
it to
for that.
They say, "Oh, we're sending this to Jabba."
Oh, I can't remember on the top of my head. If it is, I feel very sad for that Rancor, because it was such like had a good bond with Omega,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing it just ends up being dead at some point is kind of sad.
Yeah. Good
But
job, Luke.
right. So Vonda Ra of the Night Sisters used a stuffed Rancor head as a chair. In her youth as a Jedi trainee, happened Queen Mother Temple Tanel Ka Jo used 2 trophy Rancor teeth for handles to create both her first lightsaber and second lightsaber. Rancors were also the source of the delicacy, or at least an edible meal, known as raw Rancor beast liver.
Gross.
Yeah. The Rancor teeth makes perfect sense because, which, fun fact, I don't think you can use a Rancor teeth now, but with the Savi's lightsabers, if you go to Disney or Galaxy's Edge, you were able at one point to use a Rancor tooth as the bottom of your pommel for your lightsaber, which I don't believe you can use that anymore because it's a old set.
So I just have some questions that are just general questions that are bringing up. Like, what is the foodborne illness policy? Like, what internal temperature does a Rancor need to? Obviously, it doesn't need one. It doesn't have foodborne illnesses if they're eating it raw. And
Yeah.
do different species in Star Wars have different tolerances for meat and the ability to digest different temperatures on meat? Like,
Yeah,
are people in Star Wars walking around just consuming raw meat all the time, or are is Han Solo a well done guy? Like, that is the question that this kind of brings up. I don't think so.
So the raw Rancor beast liver was edible liver of the Rancor. It was served on Sarkardi Station by the Prophets of the Dark Side, led by Kadan to Zorba the Hutt. In the book Prophets of the Dark Side.
That still doesn't answer my question, Ben.
I know. I don't know. It was being fed to a hut, so maybe that's different for them than it is for other creature or other beings of the universe. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of this, what is the internal temperature of a tauntaun?
Lukewarm.
Uh-huh.
It's like, wait, I've heard this joke. I've heard this one. So
Anyway,
moving on. To
Star Wars doesn't have foodborne illnesses. Confirmed.
No, they don't.
That's what I am going with.
Pretty much. So moving on to biology and appearance. So their warm-blooded rancors fell into the reptomammal category, along with other creatures such as the wampa. Rancors were attracted to other rancor mates by a smell or pheromone. While it is known that rancors did care for their young, usually born 2 at a time, they did not suckle or hatch from eggs like those of reptiles. The 3-meter-tall hatchling rode the mother, one dorsal, one ventral, until reaching maturity, though despite this nurturing nature, it was not entirely unheard of the mother to eat her young. Because that's great. Rancors walked on 2 relatively stubby legs with long forearms utilized for catching prey, though they also walked on all 4s at times and had a short tail. A Rancor's flat face is dominated by a large mouth with full of razor-sharp teeth. Although it is sharp teeth, it would be often swallow smaller prey, such as humanoids whole. The skin of Rancor was tough enough to deflect blaster bolts, making it an effective killing machine and the excellent source of leather for expensive vests and boots. At least on Dathomir, Rancors have good night vision, and their eyesight was not as sharp as humans in daylight. So they're more nocturnal, creatures, which is probably why we see them in the, mountains and caves and such majority of the time. Rancors has symbiotic relationship with the gibbet birds, an avian species that would clean their teeth, an action that provided the birds with food and the Rancors with a form of dental hygiene.
Okay. This brings up new questions for me.
This is
which
very
are
similar to
just
like crocodiles, by the way.
exactly like so. Are Rancors bipedal crocodiles?
From what I'm reading right now, pretty close, except for, they don't lay eggs.
Right. So, like, what is going on? George, I need answers.
I know, right? And
If
certain
anyone who knows someone who might be a cousin to someone who knows George Lucas who listens to this podcast, let them know that I need answers.
I need answers. And then in certain cases, Rancors were sentient enough to be able to form and recite complex oral traditions, such as Tosh, heard mothers of Rancor family that belonged to the Singing Mountain clan on Dathomir. Tion Solasar recorded one such narrative surrounding a witch identified as the fallen Jedi Alaya, who lived over 6 centuries before. Oh, well, that's great. They can become sentient enough to like do traditional stuff, not just killing machines. So moving on to their history and legends. So on Dathomir, though they were usually considered unintelligent beasts, the Rancors of Dathomir were at least semi-sentient, carrying creatures who mourned their family members when they died and who passed on oral histories of matriarchal herds into these were organized their native ways
Okay.
of whoa.
We just can't come over this. Because now we're getting into like a thing of like ethics. Like these are sentient
Semi-sentient.
Semi-sentient creatures. And like dogs are semi-sentient. Cats are
Right.
semi-sentient.
True.
Like dogs will feel sadness or mourning for a loss of the pack. Like dogs will feel affection towards you and a bond towards you. Very similar to a lot of things that are going in here. But like basically now Jabba the Hutt is running an illegal dogfighting
Yes.
arena.
Yep.
Except instead of fighting dogs, he's fighting humans against rank like this. I've got I've got to burn down Jabba's palace. Like this is
Now I have to
that's
burn down
happening now.
Jabba's palace. Yeah, pretty much. So their native way of life seems to have been very primitive, using their strength and size to hunt live prey across the planet's savannas, with the planet's human population at one point becoming the primary prey source. But in the last centuries of the Galactic Republic, the Rancor was domesticated by the witches of Dathomir. Through force sensitivity, it was apparently necessary to accomplish the difficult task, and the symbiosis of the Rancor Saul and female writer seems to have played a major role in dictating the subsequent structure of the Dathomiri society. According to the Rancor's own traditions, the symbiosis began when a warrior woman met and healed an injured female. By mounting the Rancor's back, her sharper eyesight enabled it to hunt better prey during the day, so it grew in size and status to become a mighty herd mother. Yeah. A lot happens in here. By the time of the New Republic, most of the Dathomir's Rancor population lived in symbiosis with the planet's witches of Dathomir clans, being used as mounts and learning to make the use of armor and bladed weapons with their help. Rancors of a clan were marked to show clan ownership, but younger ones were not marked and could basically serve as an undercover mounts belonging to no clan. Okay, this is getting like... What Rancors are learning to make use of armor and bladed weapons? That's terrifying. And then around the years of the Galactic Empire, it was believed that the last herds untamed mountain rancors were driven into the plains and destroyed. But a few decades later, a wild herd wandered into the Great Canyon, dictating a population that survived a vast task of Dathomir's surface area and remained unexplored. Far beyond the knowledge of the planet's human population on Dathomir, they would often eat pig-like rodents. Yeah.
Pig-like rodents. Again, Question: what is a pig-like rodent?
I don't know.
Is that a
Oh,
rodent the size of a pig? Okay, you know the big rats that are in
you mean a
Elden Ring?
womp rat? Oh, wait, what?
Maybe a romp, like the big rats that are in Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're like bigger. They're bigger than skeevers. Like because skeevers are big rats, but
Yes.
they're still like small. But maybe more like a womp rat. Maybe a womp rat is a pig-like rodent.
I would probably put that, yeah. I would say a womp
It
rat would.
sounds like it would sounds like it would be a pig. I actually don't know what a womp rat looks like off the top of my head.
Here, let me womp rat. They are, funny enough, like giant rats. Let's see, rodent, much bigger than 2 meters. Yeah, they're probably around like 2 meters in length. That's what, 6 feet?
Maybe that's why it eats the Gormorian first.
Huh?
Oh, I think Dojo's helping us out here. Kodojo, is that a womp rat or is that a pig-like rodent?
Talk about like trench rats?
That is a womp rat. Okay. All right. Still, again, I want to know what is a pig-like rodent?
Right. Um, and then moving on to the wider galaxy beyond Dathomir, the Rancor was relatively well known in the wider galaxy, having spread across various planets with early spacefaring civilizations even before the rise of the Old Republic. But the Rancor's homeworld had been forgotten, and its sapience was rarely recognized. Among the planets that housed Rancor populations were Cardalia, Korlag, Dantooine, Duin, Trenta, and Rigosh. The Jedi Order named the Niman style lightsaber combat after the Rancor. This was a style that was known for being well rounded, with no certain offensive or defensive ability or attributes. This might have suggested something about the Rancor's predatory style. On the few worlds like Othen, Rancors were used as mounts by the warrior clans that were on Dathomir. Herds of young Rancors roamed the wild on Luthen, descended from those brought by the Infinite Empire, and they were domesticated as beasts of the war by the Black Rakata under the One. Several of these Rancors attacked Revan after betrayed the promise given to the One to kill the Elder Rakata. Revan also had to fight his way to the ancient temple and to the Elder Rakata's enclave through the Rancors who surrounded the former and guarded the latter. Yeah, because Revan had to kill a lot of Rancors, which you did.
Yeah, so you've got the giant one that's under the city in Terrace.
Yep, which we're about to go over.
Yeah. And then you got the ones on what is it? Dang. Rakaton Prime.
Yeah.
Which and then aren't Tentax or Tenatac, whatever they are, the dark side creatures.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Aren't they just dark side twisted rancors?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think that's actually the lore.
Possibly? I don't remember on the top of my head.
I know they're created by Sith, like some kind of like Sith alchemy, Sith like sorcery, things like that. Somehow they exist. Like somehow Palpatine returns.
Right. And while stranded on Terrace, the reformed Revan had to pass Rancor in order to infiltrate the Black Vulcair's base. He did this by placing a synthetic odor and made the Rancor think its prey was nearby within the pile of corpses where a grenade was placed. The Rancor, grabbing it, thought it was food, swallowed the grenade, which exploded in its mouth and killed the beast. Thousands of years later, Darth Bane encountered more Rancors of Leon while following Revan's path. Yeah, I remember this because I went into that room not knowing what to do and immediately got killed. That was not fun. You had to
Which
use
room?
this where the Rancor was in front of the base, where you had to place a
Oh yeah.
grenade. I did not realize you had to use the stealth field generator and go in solo.
So I will be quite honest with you. When I first played this, I basically ran past the Rancor, um, and then went past it and into the place where you have the two Volkers
Hmm.
who sit there. I killed them, and then grenade bombed the Rancor because I didn't know that. Like I actually killed the Rancor by depleting its health.
Oh dear God! All right. Well, I wasn't that crazy, but anyway. Rancors were perhaps most closely associated with the criminal underworld, where individual creatures were kept as pets, guards, and status symbols. Rancors were occasionally used in gambling matches, pitting one beast against another, or unleashing one upon slaves and seeing which one survived the longest. One such gambling ring existed on Nar Creta. Infamous slaver Felis Mon, who dealt in Rancors, also used two cross Rancor claws as the symbol of his organization. Sometimes Phyllis Mon used Rancors to attack his personal enemies, and sometimes his enslaved Force adepts created illusions of Rancors to attack his enemies. Rancors were also kept by such criminals as uh, Nirama, Hisk Squin, uh, Brovo the Hutt, and the crime lord from Null Creta.
Hmm.
The inhabitants of Felucia managed to tame the local Rancors in a manner similar to the Dathomiri witches. They used the Rancors as mounts, and the bones of the deceased creatures were used into weapons. In addition, they usually painted the Rancors with fluorescent paints to make them look more intimidating. These Rancors were used by the Jedi Shakti and Maris Brood. Several of these Rancors were slain by Garen Marek during his mission in 2 BBY. The Zane Constorium used many Rancors with Night Sisters astride them in their campaign to corrupt the galaxy, most notably Night Sister Sillery's pet, Cuddles.
Hmm. I would name my Rancor Cuddles too.
Yeah, that name is interesting for
I
sure.
mean, let's be honest, and I know we'll talk about canon in here, but did we not all just assume that Rancors are um, big dogs after Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, now that you think about that. um, give me one. Oh no, my show notes. Oh, there we go. And then perhaps the most famous such rancor was the one owned by Jabba, who kept in a pit beneath his palace courts, dropping in victims who displeased him in some way in order to feed it. His rancor was carried by Malaki, a famous beast tamer who had traveled with the Circus Horrificus, um, Horrificus. The Rancor out of Jabba's palace was a run in the desert and wept when the beast was killed by Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, this is the guy who comes in and cries after the Rancor dies.
Yes.
I always felt bad for him,
Yeah, I do too.
even as like a kid. And I was like, "Oh, but Luke's okay." And I was like, "Oh, but he's sad. That must have been his
But he's
pet."
sad.
Now I'm sad. Stupid Luke.
Where'd you kill his pet? The Galactic Empire attempted to exploit the combat potential of the Rancor. Perhaps not a great surprise, given the fully grown Dathomir Rancor was capable of singly handling destroying an entire AT-ST unit.
Hmm. Okay, so
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
these are the things I want to see. Like, I don't need to see all the behind the scene politics of like the building of the rebellion and funding all of that, like in Andor. Like, I know Andor is great and people like it, but I want to see Rancors taking down
ATSTs.
I
Right.
want to watch like Primal Beast ravaging the Empire. I mean, we get a little bit of that in
Book of
Jedi
Boba.
Survivor and Book of Boba. Like in Jedi Survivor, you can definitely watch some Wampas and other things take down some Purge troopers and
That was great.
the
It's fantastic.
Dark troopers, I guess is what they are.
Yeah.
The robot ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we do have some subspecies of the Rancor. So many subspecies of Rancors existed, both on Dathomir and other worlds. Among the subspecies of Dathomiri Rancors were the Nard Rancor and the Rancor Pygmy. Off-world breeds had evolved into such distinct subspecies, such as the amphibious Tricor found on Socorro, or the gigantic Tyrant Rancor. An extremely rare variant was the Bull Rancor of Felucia, an ancient and near-mythical beast that marked by its paler flesh, elongated tail, and immense horns that sprouted from its massive head. One such Rancor was tamed and used as a pet by the Dark Jedi Maris Brood. Yeah, and we kill it. As Galen Merrick, aka Starkiller. So several subspecies did not evolve naturally, but were instead bred, either using genetic manipulations or Sithic alchemy. One such variant was the Jungle Rancor, which is such different from the common brethren, and was found on other worlds such as Teth. The Sith Lord Kolak Furlath used the Sith alchemy to create Coralie, a Rancor with lighter bones and large wings, that the skin replaced with a black metallic plating that could serve as armor. One such creature existed and was subsequently destroyed. The reborn Emperor Palpatine also kept several alchemically altered chrysalide Rancors as a citadel on Bas in order to defend it. Yeah. Oh, and Rancor were in Star Wars Empire at War. And Dojo says in chat, lost 3 squads when I wasn't looking. Because Rancors are terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Never stop looking. Stop looking.
No. And then other mutant Rancors were unique and impossible to classify. In 14 ABY, a mutant Rancor was bred by the disciples of Ragnos, who planned on releasing the beast in Tanab cities, so during the chaos that they could steal arms, credits, and other needed goods. The beast was much larger than normal Rancors, and the green capsules on its back could breathe a stream of green toxic gas and be unnatural green hue to its skin. However, once released, the Rancor began attacking the disciples themselves and were unable to stop it, as the mutant was immune to conventional weapons. Eventually, it was killed by Jedi Jaden Kor, who managed to pin it against a force field and a large crate on a conveyor belt. Which, that was during
Jedi Academy.
Jedi Academy. That's right.
Yeah. One of the very, very stressful mission, because you have to run away from the Rancor.
I remember that.
Catches you, and the facility is full of like Sith, so you can very easily get like cornered and all of that stuff, and then
yeah, it's not fun. It's a very stressful mission, that is for sure. And then another example of our mutant Rancor is the Undead Rancor, which is mutated by Imperial Bioweapons Project I-71A and reside on Dathomir in the Imperial Quarantine Zone. This Rancor was later killed by a group of spacers. That's just terrifying to know that there was an Undead Rancor.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I mean, you know, we have the whole zombie comics and all that stuff in Legends, so fun times. But at this point, let's take a quick mid-break and thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
I just realized that I had not plugged my computer in, so we were about to have a real problem mid-episode.
Oh, no.
But we're good now.
Okay.
Anyway, so the charger that like stays stationary, because I just moved my laptop everywhere, the one that stays stationary at this desk is a little finicky and sometimes pops out.
Oh, that's great.
So it's because it's not actually like, it's an HP branded charger, but it's not like for this, so it doesn't like latch properly, but it still charges, so who cares? So anyway, welcome to the Little Show, where we take time to thank our patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons who support the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. If you would like to join us on patreon.com, you can do that at patreon.com/holocronhistories. If you can't support us, you can leave us ratings or review on Apple or Spotify. If you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we'll read your comment or review out on a future episode of the show. Ben, do we have a review to read today?
We do not.
All right. Well, get those comments in. Especially, let me know, do you think there are foodborne illnesses in Star Wars? I need to know. These are questions that will keep me up at night. Probably will, because I am actually not working the rest of the week, so I'll have a lot of time to think about these questions.
Yep.
Lastly, come hang out with us on Discord. You can find all the links in the episode description. You can also find, there it's all over the internet. Just come hang out with us on Discord. And then I think that's all, because I don't think we have any new Star Wars content coming until 2025.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we don't have anything coming out.
I don't even know if we have anything in 2025.
For next year. I think there was a new book series that just started. Here, let me see.
Because the only games that are in development right now are the KOTOR remake, as far as I know. And there are rumors of a Jedi Survivor, a third one in the series, but I don't know if that's been confirmed or not.
No, this just released today. So there is a new series called Star Wars: The Secrets of blank, and the first one just dropped today as we're recording this on the 8th of October, is The Secrets of Clone Troopers. And it is a canon reference book that is published by Insight Editions, and they added a lot new lore, and there's even lore perspectives of characters like Captain Rex and how he talks about the Battle of Endor and stuff like that. So, and then there is going to be Secrets of the Clone Troopers in addition to the line of Star Wars titles, including Star Wars Secrets of the Jedi and Secrets of the Sith.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, there's that stuff.
Just be aware that come the end of this month, my life will be consumed by Dragon Age. I will know nothing else. There is no Austin. There is only Dragon Age.
There's only Dragon Age. Oh, I already know that because, I'm also getting Dragon Age, so
Yeah, I will actually have a patron chat on that podcast right before the episode, or right before the game
Game release.
drops. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Because actually, that patron chat, because we record a week beforehand, that patron chat will probably drop the day the game releases on Halloween.
Okay. Well, I know
But yeah.
our episodes also drop on Thursdays, so this episode will
Ooh.
drop on Halloween when we get to that episode.
Yes. Please
So.
be a patron chat.
Yes, it will be a patron chat.
Yeah.
So, Dojo, think what you want to talk about this month. But anyway, let's get back into the canon of Rancors.
This episode is brought to you by Adobe Firefly, the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video generation. Built for today's creative process, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, and the timelines? Woo, yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Learn more at adobe.com/firefly.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, we're back. And now we have the canon. So, Rancors were very large, semi-sentient reptilian carnivores.
Okay. So they are no longer reptomammals.
Apparently not.
They're just reptilians. So now they lay eggs.
I guess. Yeah, we'll get to that point.
These are the implications I need you to think about, Dave.
And they are native to the planet of Dathomir, so that doesn't change. Although they were also introduced to and present on Felucia, Tatooine, and Kobo, Rancors were often seen as mindless, violent creatures due to their extensive use of fighters across the galaxy, and were capable of being trained and bonding well with their handlers and acquaintances.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about Jedi Survivor later in the history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So.
Going with their biology and appearance, standing around 5 meters tall, they had long arms, clawed fingers, immense toothy jaws, armored hides which could withstand such as blaster fire. Rancors were a sight to behold and made formidable predators. However, they were not inherently vicious to sentient life, despite their infamous and often intimidating outbursts when threatened or antagonized. A subspecies known as the Jungle Rancor populated the planet Felucia. Rage Rancors were taller than other Rancor subspecies and had even nastier temperaments. Shadow Rancors, named for their darker hides, had a notorious parchment of destruction, and the proper plural term of a group of Rancors in galactic basic standard was a crash. Rancors had a red blood when the Sith Lord Darth Vader cut into the Rancor enhance via the cyber animate program. Blood flowed from its body instead of the wound cauterizing. So that's cool, I guess. Moving on to their behavior, Rancors adhered to the social hierarchy, where an alpha was dominant over other Rancors until otherwise defeated. Despite their massive size and extremely intimidating appearance, the creature were inherently benign. While Rancors were eventually domesticated by the witches of Dathomir using witchcraft and dark force magic, though they were formidable animals with a short fuse that could be provoked easily into a violent mood. Though they were often bred for fighting or battle purposes, Rancors were very loving to their owners and handlers if trained and properly socialized. Rancor younglings tend to be very energetic and blissfully unaware of their own strength of its effects on others, and could easily soothe the chewing bone of a favorite toy. Once they were taught basic obedience, young Rancors were calmed, easily to grow to be very gentle, protective companions. The mouth and teeth of rancors were often cleansed by scavenging birds. The giants simply lain in wait for the aven cleaners to for their mouths to be open. However, with larger life forms, rancors would eat anything that were capable of swallowing.
So, we don't eat rancors in canon.
No.
Well, now that renders my question about are there food. I still want to know, are there foodborne illnesses in Star Wars? But like,
Right.
are they
Oh,
so
I do.
advanced with space travel that foodborne illness isn't even a thing?
That's possible.
Is it though?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
Doubtful.
bacteria still works the same.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bacteria is
Like,
still a thing.
These are the questions.
These are the
Dave.
questions. Dave. And moving into the history, and this is pre-Clone Wars. So when the Fromprath came to Dathomir, they explored the natural resources of the planet, which spurred the Night Sisters to form a symbiotic alliance with the native Rancors in order to drive out the colonizers. The Hutt clan used Rancors as mounts for its enforcers, such as the Gamorrean warriors. During the High Republic era, when the Jedi Order and the Hutts were forced to make an alliance against the Drengir, the Jedi of the Galactic Frontier would ride Rancors into battle alongside Hutt forces, which this is in the comics, for everybody to know. In response to the slaughter of Jedi Master Avar Kriss and Jedi Knight Trarek rode atop Rancors into battle against the Drengir, while Trarek's bond twin and fellow knight Kret and Hutt leader Mara Ajalak Atrug rode beside them on speeders. The Drengir would begin to overwhelm their enemies over the course of the battle, which one managing to extend its tentacle-like vines into the mouth and nostrils of Kriss's Rancor, forced her to jump from the beast as it scrambled into the Drengir's infection. And then, to Kriss's horror, Mara quickly executed the Rancor when it began to rise against them. After the Drengir suddenly began to scream out, the battle reconvened with Jedi Knight Creve Trinnis infiltrating the species' root mind. After discovering the location of the Great Progenitor on the planet of Mulata, Trellix Rancor reached out and grabbed one of the biological monsters. The Jedi and the Hutts would launch a massive strike against the Drengir during the assault on Mulata, in which Trandoshan Jedi Master Skier rode a Rancor into battle. Although Skier tried to cut through the vines, his Rancor was subdued by the Drengir vines. In the end, however, the battle would end viciously for the Jedi and the Hutts as the Great Progenitor was forced back into slumber. Ugh. Yeah. That's in the comics for everybody. Go look up the High Republic comics. I think it's just called Star Wars: The High Republic comic series. You'll get all that in Phase 1 of the comics.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then Dojo said there was a book where Luke went to meet a contact at a food vendor, and the secret passcode was asking for Rancor sauce. Interesting.
But is that like steak sauce? Like,
yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking too.
Steak sauce isn't made out of steak.
No.
But anyway, I'm so interested in the culinary world of
Star Wars. And then
in another lifetime, I would have been a chef, but
that's fair.
Didn't work out that way.
Right. Honestly, me too. I love baking and cooking food and all that stuff. I love food.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the Clone Wars era, so the Jungle Rancor subspecies lived on the world of Felucia. After the destruction of the Felucia Medical Station, HCTFF2, Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi General Anakin Skywalker, and Jedi Commander Ahsoka Tano saw a group of such Rancors on planet. While they were careful not to scare the creatures, the Jungle Rancors lived a relatively peaceful coexistence with the native Felucian farmers. That's it. That's all we have in the Clone Wars era. You have something?
Yeah. We didn't get to fight any Rancors in Clone Wars.
No.
That's surprising. Anyway, Well,
Moving on to the Imperial era. So after the rise of the Galactic Empire, Clone Force 99 was hired by Sid to rescue Muchi, an adolescent Rancor on Ord Mantell. Though they were not informed she was a Rancor, Muchi was...
you
Sorry.
okay?
Oh yeah, I just heard yelling. Though they were not informed she was a Rancor, Muchi was released by Omega in order to help the squad and some slaves to escape the group of Zagarian enslavers, and Echo expressed surprise upon discovering that Muchi was Rancor, not one of the slaves.
Yeah.
And
so I don't actually think Muchi is the Rancor that gets killed.
I don't think so.
I don't remember.
In 9 BBY, a Rancor killed some prospectors on the planet Okobol. The Rancor was eventually killed by Cal Kestis when the Jedi Knight was sent to investigate the prospector's disappearance. Later on, the latter discovered another Rancor in the aptly named Fo-Qui Caverns and apparently lived there for some time, feeding upon those unfortunate enough to endure its wrath, including the Bedlam Raiders. Cal reacted with noticeable disbelief upon killing the second Rancor.
Okay, so I have things about this Rancor
Okay.
in Jedi Survivor. But also, I looked it up. This Rancor is delivered. Muchi is delivered to Bib Fortuna.
No, Muchi, no. Oh, I'm sad now.
Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, can we talk about Jedi Survivor? How you fight 2 Rancors, and you even have a Force Echo thing where you fight 2 Rancors at once.
Yeah. Oh, that sucked.
But it's still not anywhere near as hard as the freaking swamp frog.
The bog frogs or whatever they're called. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Rancors are easier than a freaking frog. And, by the way, they're harder in Jedi Survivor than they were in Jedi or Fallen Order.
Because you can't freeze them.
You can't freeze them and cut off their tongue.
Exactly. I forget what the... Oh, it's Spawn. The spawn of whatever.
Yeah. It's the son of that stupid frog on whatever I can't remember the first planet you go to. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are just piss me off. I have not been able to beat that fight on any difficulty other than story.
Same.
And it's
Are you talking about
I
the
know I'm
frog
not
or the
oh my
or the
god,
Rancors?
I'm oh, I've beaten every game, I've beaten every Souls game, whatever. But I consider myself a competent gamer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Oh, I agree. You and me both. I hate the freaking frog, and I don't like having 2 Rancors in my face. So, after the Sith Lord Darth Vader killed a Trandoshan enhanced via the Krylo Directive's Separate Animate program, the Krylo Directive instead implemented the Separate Animate into a Rancor. The system connected directly into the creature's brain to try and circumvent any weaknesses it could have faced by. In particular, the Rancor was equipped with neurodampers to prevent it from feeling pain, adrenaline stimulants, and a plate-reinforced thorax. In the lead up to the hijacking of the Executor, by which point the Rancor was most recent creation of the labs, the cyborg creature was unleashed against Vader by Dr. Trulon Voidgazer, and in what she dubbed Experiment 428.
Not to be confused with Experiment 626.
I know, right? That's they should. Oh, I was kind of hoping they would have dubbed it Experiment 626. It's like how it's a Rancor blue and have it be blue. Have a blue Rancor and dub it 626. That would have been fantastic.
His name will be Ohana.
Ohana.
Ohana means family.
I love that movie. Of that series. The Rancor approached Vader via Vector E on her order and did not react when Vader cut off some of the creature's hands, as per to the neural dampeners, before rushing Vader in a rage upon shocked by its adrenaline stimulants. while Voidgazer regarded that the unsurprising response she had pleased by the thorax-resisting Vader's force choke attack, and all the same, once she explained the system, Vader bested the beast by throwing his lightsaber into its brain, killing it. Because Vader. He can't lose. And then a massive Rancor named Pacinia was kept by a pet. Oh, different. It is a different one.
Oh,
Pacinia
I guess so.
was kept as a pet by Jabba the Hutt in a shadowy chamber beneath his palace court, in which he fed to his enemies, any who displeased him. During his mission to rescue Han Solo, Jabba dispatched the young Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker into the pit. After a terrifying creature ate one of Jabba's Gamorrean guards, the young Jedi defeated the Rancor by the shock of all watching. Pestinia's human handler Malakili mourned the Rancor's death, while an outraged Jabba ordered the public execution of the Jedi and his friends. So different Rancor.
How long do Rancors live?
Now that you say that, I'm not entirely did I see? Do we have a life expectancy?
It's probably they sometimes put them at the top of the wiki page.
Rancors. We have average skin, average height. We do not have a age.
Oh, okay. I guess most of them die in combat, so it's hard to tell.
Right. That's true. And now the post-Imperial era, so this is the sequel era. So in 9 ABY, the Hutts known as the Twins presented a Rancor to Daimyo Boba Fett on Tatooine as tribute and apology for sending the Wookiee gladiator Krrsantan to assassinate Fett. The Rancor was equipped with the blinders, which its keeper explained was because the Rancor would imprint on the first human it saw. Boba removed their Rancor's blinders and began to bond with the creature, asking the Rancor keeper to teach him how to ride the Rancor as the witches of Dathomir had. When the Pike Syndicate began to using Tatooine as part of their spice trade, Fett met with Mos Espa's criminal leaders at the palace to try to convince them to join him against the Pikes. During the meeting, Fett's guards were surprised at the Rancor that was just below them. Yeah, they were. And then during the battle, they took the place in Mos Espa, Fett and his allies being outnumbered by the Pikes, which made worse when the Pikes brought in Scorpionic droids, equipped with deflector shields, against which the weapons were nearly useless. To balance the fight, Fett withdrew from the battle and returned riding his Rancor, using his bond with the creature and its species legacy to instill fear into the Pike forces. The Rancor's appearance changed the course of the battle, and with the creature interestingly showcasing his superior combat style to the Scorpionic units. And then when bounty hunter Cad Bane, Fett's former mentor who rivaled who was working for the Pikes, arrived, Rancor was scared away by Bane's flamethrower and made Fett fall from the ammo run away. Without Fett to keep the beast under control, the Rancor began to destroy the city. Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin, who had been recruited by Fett, faced the Rancor and was nearly killed, but before the Rancor could kill him, Grogu, or Force-sensitive child of Yoda's race, who was in Jin's care, placed himself between the two and used the Force to calm the beast and put it to sleep, which Grogu also did alongside with the Rancor due to the tiredness caused by the act.
Baby Yoda gets sleepy.
Yes. He gets sleepy when he uses the Force.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometime between 9 ABY and 34 ABY, the Trandoshan hunter Char owned an outfit of Rancor bones, which he wore during the Hunters of the Outer Rim tournament at the Grand Arena on planet Vespara. And this is from Star Wars Hunters, which is the arena shooter game that you can play on mobile.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. It's a fun game, not gonna lie. They just added Ewok as a character. So, fun game. But that is all I have on Rancors.
Yeah. Scary creatures.
Yes. Terrifying when you see them in game.
So, yeah.
all
Thanks
all
for
the
listening.
time, no matter what you are.
Thanks for listening. Try some Rancor liver. Next time you're at Galaxy's Edge, let's see if they've got Rancor liver to eat.
my
Raw
God, I might have to
Rancor
try
liver.
that.
But thank you all for listening to the Holocron Histories podcast. We'll see you next time.
And may the force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, and even at the Cups Podcast and More Discord. You can find us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories, and even email us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.